Alright, so today I am doing the start of a 9-part series, which I do plan on having this take until the new year. Well, yeah, I plan on only doing like maybe an episode of this like every other week. So, I'm starting off with Kanto today, and then eventually I will get all the way through Paldea. So, as you can see, every single Pokemon ever official art. However, like when we get down to Johto, you can only see like one unknown. I'm glad that it's only that way and only like one Arceus. Wherever it is, yeah, here. I'm just glad that it's not having me rank every single version different. So like only one unknown and not 28 of them. But anyway, I'm only going up until Mew. So, how am I going to rank these? Based on like designs, uh, and personal preference, like how often I've used them. Bulbasaur, strong A tier. I mean, what's not to love about this little cabbage frog? Ivysaur. Yeah, Ivysaur is also getting A tier. Because it doesn't change too much. However, I prefer Bulbasaur a bit more. But the flower adds a nice touch to it. Venusaur, I'm also going to put in A tier. And even though it's not the greatest looking Pokemon, it has amazing qualities. And if I don't pick Charmander, I pick Bulbasaur. So, Mega Venusaur, I'm going to put that above Ivysaur, actually. Like, yes, it's just this, but with more flowers and more design, a little bit more of a design. But I like that. It's simple. It's not too much of a change. This is going into B tier. Gigantamax Venusaur. I don't know. There's something about its little hood that throws me off. Charmander. If you couldn't tell, Charmander is my favorite Pokemon. Look, I got the Charmander tattoo. I got 9 Charmander plushies up there. So, I have an attachment to Charmander that is never going to change. No Pokemon will ever take the number 1 spot. Charmeleon C tier. I would put it into D tier. Actually, no, I wouldn't put it into D tier. Because it's not a horrible design. It's just not what I want to see in a Pokemon. Charmander's already perfect. No need to change it. However, Charizard's going up into B tier. Charizard has grown on me a little bit, but not to the point where I would put it on the level of Charmander. Charizard knows its role, and it's going to stay there. Actually, no, I'm going to put it higher B tier. Mega Charizard X A tier. In fact, I'm putting it above Venusaur. Now, when it comes to Pokemon Go, I found a wild shiny Charizard when I was shopping at Walmart a couple years ago. And whenever I Mega Evolve it, I usually go with the Fire Dragon type because that is such a sick combo. And the shiny, beautiful. And if you couldn't tell, that also is just me saying that I have a shiny Charmander, well, countless shiny Charmanders, and one shiny Charizard, but no shiny Charmeleons. But anyway, this is honestly one of the best Mega Evolutions I've ever seen. Mega Charizard Y, I'm putting that in B tier. Because it's not as cool looking as Mega Charizard X. I mean, the shiny for it is cool, but I prefer the Fire Dragon type. Gigantamax Charizard. It has fire wings. I gotta respect it. So, lower A tier. However, when it comes to anything Charizard related, Mega Charizard X is the best they've done when it comes to Charizard. However, Charmander is just the peak Pokemon. There's no beating it. Squirtle. That is going into A tier as well, right next to Bulbasaur. I mean, what's not to love about a turtle that has the tail of what, kind of like a squirrel? Even though I know it's Squirt Turtle, it's still a cute design. And if I didn't use Lapras in Kanto, I either went with Gyarados or Squirtle. Wartortle. Yeah, honestly, I would put that above. I don't know, just below Ivysaur, on the same A tier. It has a cool tail, the little head wing things, or those are just kind of ears, I think. It's still a cool design, but there's something about base form starters that just brings me joy. Blastoise, I'm putting that like right up, yeah, right below Mega Venusaur. Blastoise, it has cannons in its shell. That is awesome. And besides, I love turtles. I also love frogs, lizards, you name it. Well, I shouldn't go that far with the you name it part because you're gonna. Well, if you haven't seen any of my past videos, I'll get to what I'm talking about in just a moment. But anyway, uh, Mega Blastoise. Excuse me. I'm putting that in between. Actually, no, I'm putting that in upper B tier, like right above Charizard. I know I was talking about its cannons, but I feel like they could have done so much more with the design. Now, Gigantamax Blastoise, I'm putting that right above Gigantamax Charizard. That is a brilliant design for a Gigantamax Pokemon. And the cannons are actually done pretty well. Caterpie, A tier underneath Squirtle. That is something that is simple but adorable. Now, I know you guys are probably calling me a Gen 1er at this point, but Gen 1 has a bunch of simple but brilliant designs. Metapod, I'm going to put that in, honestly, C tier, right above Charmeleon. It's a good design. However, I don't know. It's just that I don't have too much of an attachment to it. Because when it's a Caterpie, I actually use Caterpie quite a bit to evolve it into a Metapod. And what Caterpie can be found at like level 3. So that's like 4 levels to experience the Caterpie. While it's 3 for Metapod. It's a boring stage. But I get that's what a cocoon is supposed to be. But they could have done something to kind of spice it up. Butterfree. You know what? I'm putting that right above Caterpie. Because I have quite the connection with Butterfree. Butterfree is a Pokemon that I've actually used in a playthrough team. And yes, I did use it to beat the league. Its design is cool. Bye Bye Butterfree always breaks me. It's such a beautiful Pokemon. Gigantamax Butterfree. This, I'm actually putting up in S tier. Because, yes, Butterfree already looks elegant. But it looks even more elegant. With just the color and the design of the wings. This is honestly one of my favorite Gigantamax forms. Alright, we got Weedle, aka Party Wiener. I'm putting that in B tier, right above Gigantamax Venusaur. I don't use the Weedle line as often as I use the Butterfree line. And it's... I know I compliment the simple designs of, like, Charmander and Caterpie, but this is the wrong idea for a simple design. So, it's not ranking as high as Caterpie. Kakuna, I'm putting it barely above Weedle. because I like the look of it. Mainly because this centerpiece right here looks like a tie, and I can never unsee that, and you can't either. So it kind of pulls it off, and it definitely gives it more leeway over Metapod. Beedrill, I'm putting that like right above. Yeah, I'm putting it right above Kakuna. It's a. It's just a bee with twin stingers on its hands. It's. Yeah, it's definitely a middle of the road Pokemon. And like I said, I don't have much of an attachment to it. Mega Beedrill, I am definitely putting that above Charizard in the B tier. It definitely looks cooler than regular Beedrill with all of those extra stingers. It looks like a force to be reckoned with. However, it's still not as good as some of the other Mega forms. Pidgey, kind of boring, but it's a good Pokemon. Pidgeotto, I'm putting in B tier above Beedrill. It's a actually no, executive decision above Charizard. It's always my go-to flyer in Kanto. It's a basic design which could have been touched up a bit, but I do have sentimental attachment to it. Excuse me. Pidgeot, I'm putting it above Butterfree in A tier. It's a strong Pokemon. I have so many memories using it, and yes, it is a simple design, but this is simple done right. Mega Pidgeot, like right below Pidgeot. It well, I don't really have a reason to put it above or below Pidgeot. It's pretty much the same thing. So, you know what? I'm actually just gonna put it above. But to me, they're more on the same level. Rattata, I'm putting it above Kakuna. I like this little guy, but it's still more of a middle of the road Pokemon. Yeah, some of these I'm just going to be very brief about. Alolan Rattata, lower B tier. It's a bit of a downgrade in my opinion. Raticate, A tier. Like lowest, well, yeah, like low A tier in my opinion. Mainly because I do have attachments to this. It was very helpful in a normal only playthrough I've done. Yeah, the design's kind of boring, but it's a powerhouse. and it doesn't get enough credit for that. Alolan Raticate, and I'm putting it in C tier. Let me put it in between Charmeleon and Metapod. It's not as good as Alolan Rattata, and it just doesn't give off the same kind of charm that Raticate gives off. Spearow, I'm actually going to put it above Pidgey. Yeah, right here. It's a basic bird, but the red and brown actually gives it a bit more of a. Actually, no. We're putting it above Rattata. It gives off a bit of a pop. Like the red and the brown. Love it. Fearow, that will go above the above the Pidgey. Fearow's a little ugly, but it's good in specific generations. Like it gets outclassed in the more modern gens, but Kanto and Johto, it's actually pretty good. Ekans, I'm putting in lower B tier. Actually, no, upper C tier. I don't like snakes. However, when it comes to Pokemon snakes, they're not as bad as normal snakes. I can handle them. Because they actually look more cartoony than anything. But I don't really use these. I'm going to put Arbok in C tier above Ekans. Pretty much for the same reason, except it has a bit of a better design. Pikachu, S tier. Come on, it's the freaking mascot of the franchise. He's a great Pokemon. In fact, I have a giant Pikachu up there. And I have like 3 Pikachu Squishmallows. Yeah, there's another Pikachu right here. Without Pikachu, I don't think Pokemon would be as popular as it is. Or as recognizable. Gigantamax Pikachu is the return of Chonky Chew. You know what? I'm putting it above Butterfree. Raichu. I'm putting that above Pikachu. There's something about Raichu that I love. Maybe it's because it's not given enough spotlight compared to Pikachu, which makes me love it more than Pikachu. And besides, it's a great design. I feel like we should have gotten Gorochu instead of a Pichu, though. The Alolan Raichu, Electric Psychic is a fun type. It surfs on its tail. It's a bit of a darker shade of brown or orange. So it's an orange brown, somewhere around there. And in the anime, it likes pancakes. I love pancakes. In fact, there's something about breakfast foods that just brings me so much joy. You know what? Breakfast tier list coming eventually. But anyway. Yeah, Alolan Raichu better than Raichu and Pikachu. Sandshrew, A tier. In fact, I'll put it above the Raticate. It's a cute Pokemon. I've used it before. It's pretty good. But it's a little boring. Alolan Sandshrew. I'm putting it right below regular Sandshrew. I like that it's an Ice type. Well, I think it's Ice Steel. But Sandshrew just brings me more joy. Sandslash, I'm putting it above Beedrill in B tier. It's a nice design, but I don't know, I usually just box my Sandshrew before I even get a chance to use a Sandslash. Because I always find a Pokemon that I like more. So for now, I'm putting it in B tier. Alolan Sandslash, I'm going to put it like slightly above the Sandslash. It reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog. And I like that. So, I'm just going to rank both of the Nidorans together. I like the female one more than the male Nidoran. But they're just a little similar, so I have to put them together. And yes, they're both in B tier. Actually, you know what? Let's put them both above Beedrill. So Nidorina and Nidorino, I'm putting them both below Beedrill, but Nidorino looks cooler to me. Like it looks like it's wanting to protect more than Nidorina does. Now, Nidoqueen I'm putting in lower A tier, but Nidoking in upper A tier. Like, I'm not doing this as like a sexist kind of way. Nidoking has been the Pokemon I used more than Nidoqueen. Because I always find a Nidoran male before a Nidoran female. And its design is honestly better except for the color. I prefer the blue over the purple. Clefairy, I like Clefairy. I'm currently using one in my own playthrough of Let's Go Pikachu, where I'm using Charmander, Clefable, Pikachu, Dugtrio, man, who else am I using? Well, anyways, it's mainly Pokemon I don't use that often, plus the starter and my favorite. It's a cute Pokemon. I have a Squishmallow. Actually, no, I'm just gonna put it at the top of. Yeah, no, let's put it above Nidoqueen in A tier. Clefable, it is a powerhouse. So I'm putting it above Ivysaur. And it's a simple but wonderful design. Oh, excuse me. The Vulpixes aren't too different, so I'm going to put them in the same tier, like right next to each other, and they both get A tier. And this is going to be strange for me to say. I I love the fire type, but for some reason the ice type Vulpix stands out to me more. Like, I'm so used to using the fire type Vulpix, but the ice type Vulpix just looks slightly cuter. So, Alolan Ninetales looks slightly better than Kanto Ninetales because it's a little bit wispy, giving it a bit more of a mystery to it. And the Ice Fairy type, great typing. So all four of those Pokemon A tier. Jigglypuff, I'm putting in B tier. Right above right below Beedrill. It's a middle of the road Pokemon. It's fun in the anime. But speaking of the anime, that one guy says it's a Jigglypuff seen from above. That's not accurate. Its ears kind of poke outwards a bit, so it's not like a perfect circle from above. Wigglytuff, I'm putting it below Jigglypuff. There you go. It's just a chunkier Jigglypuff without the fun side of Jigglypuff. Zubat, yeah, I'm going to put it above below Charizard. Actually, now let's just go below Beedrill. It's a good design. It's very annoying to run into in caves. I've gotten a few shinies of Zubat. However, it's not the kind of Pokemon that makes me think this is cute. Like, it's a bit disturbing. Like, you can't even see where its eyes are. Plus, there's a lot left to be desired. Golbat, just for the mouth alone, I'm putting it right below Zubat. It has its eyes, but the mouth is just throwing me off. Actually, no, I'm putting it below Wigglytuff. No, better yet, below Rattata. However, I do like using Golbat. Man, we have quite a bit to go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 times 11. Man, 154 more. Alright, so I'm going to have to shorten up some of my explanations, so this isn't a 2-hour video. Okay. Oddish, lower A tier, simple design, but it's cute. And I like using it. Gloom, right below Oddish. Once again, still a cute design. It's a bit more complex, but the drooling is a bit weird. Okay, Vileplume right after Venusaur in A tier. Once again, simple design, but it reminds me of the that one plant from Plants vs. Zombies, or a cross between that one that kind of shoots the purple stuff from in all directions, and the plant that bounces like some of the zombies away. I don't know what to call them. But anyway, Paris, let's put it above Kakuna. I said above Kakuna. It's a cute little hermit crab of sorts with tiny mushrooms. However, I don't use it a lot, so I don't have too much of a connection to it. Paris, well, Parasect. I'm going to put it below Charmeleon. Mainly because it has a horrible typing. It's not that cute or cool looking. It's basically just a zombie. And these things are so aggressive in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Like, I don't understand. So, yeah, I don't like this. Venonat, I'm putting that in lower A tier. It's really cute. I've used it before. It's actually pretty good. But it's not something that wows me. Venomoth, I'm putting right above Nidoqueen in A tier. It's a beautiful design. It, once again, it's very good. And there's something about it that I like. Like, maybe because it's still relatively simple, but in a good way. Diglett, A tier above Oddish. It's a cute little mole. Now, I'm going to block out what people have made fan art of Diglett and Dugtrio. And besides, Diglett's very helpful against Lieutenant Surge, so I use it quite often there. I don't know, the hair doesn't do it for me on this one, so I'm putting it. You know what? I'll put it below Venonat in A tier. Dugtrio. Oh, yeah, up here. So I'm going to put it above Venomoth. It's an amazing Pokemon. I'm actually using it on a playthrough team right now. But I wish they did more than just add 2 more Diglets. Lower B tier for the Alolan variation. Why? Why was the hair needed? Actually, no, just for that, it's going underneath Ekans in C tier. Alright, so I'm going to put Cantonian Meowth in lower A tier, Alolan Meowth in lower B tier, and Galarian Meowth in, I would say, mid B tier. Cantonian Meowth is a classic. There's something off-putting about Alolan Meowth, but Galarian Meowth is actually pretty cool. It gives off a more rugged vibe. Alright, Tall Meowth. This, I will put above Raticate. It's a funny design based on a meme, and I love that. Persian, I'm putting it below Meowth. Meowth just has more history behind it. Mainly because it has, and Meowth has 2 other regional variants and a Gigantamax form. Plus, it has a major role in a majority of the anime. Okay, Watermelon Persian, I'm putting that below Galarian Meowth. It's a funny design for a Persian variant, but not that funny. Psyduck, I'm going to put it right above Raichu. Now, personally, my love for Psyduck is mainly from my mom. My mom absolutely loves Psyduck. It's her favorite Pokemon. And like every time I see a Psyduck, it reminds me of her. So it can't go any lower than S tier. And besides, it's cute. It's a duck. What's not to love about it? Golduck. Now, this is where I would say the duck argument falls off. I'm putting it. Actually, no. I'm going to put it in C tier, but upper C tier. It's not good. Like, yeah, the color of it is good, but everything else is just off-putting. Like, it feels more like a middle stage Pokemon than a final stage Pokemon. Golduck needs either an evolution or like a Mega or something. Because honestly, I don't like it. Mankey. A tier. You know, I would. Oh yeah, that's the other and that's one of the other Pokemon I'm using in that playthrough. I'll put it below Clefairy. No, above Clefairy. You know what? Actually, final placement above Raticate in A tier. I love the Mankey line. I use it quite a bit in Kanto. Uh, I used it in Paldea because Annihilate. When I get to Gen 9 in this list, I'm going to have so much praise for it. It's a simple design, it's a pig monkey, and I love that. I love pigs, I love monkeys. Primeape, I'm going to put it right above. Same reason for Mankey. Growlithe. You know what? Let's just do Growlithe and Arcanine all together. They're all doggos. I love dogs. Arcanine's majestic and powerful. Growlithe and Hisuian Growlithe are both adorable. But I would honestly say Hisuian Arcanine is the worst of the four. But that's not an insult at all. Because I still love it enough to put it in A tier. Like, just above Bulbasaur. So, all four of them deserve that high spot. Poliwag, I'm putting in A tier above Dugtrio. It's adorable. It's blue. It's a tadpole. Poliwhirl. Putting it just below Dugtrio. It's a good Pokemon. I like the design. But I don't really use it that much. So, I don't really have that much of an attachment to it. Poliwrath, I'm for the exact same reasons, I'm just going to put it right below Poliwhirl. Abra, I'm going to say upper B tier. It's a great design, but it's just so annoying to catch sometimes. Like, you only get one shot, then it just flees. Unless you have a Pokemon with Mean Look or you can somehow put it to sleep in one turn. Kadabra. I'm putting it above Ivysaur. It's an absolutely great design, and even without evolving it, it is still powerful. Alakazam, I'm putting that above Mega Pidgeot. Because Alakazam is a powerful Pokemon. I'm not going to rank it higher than Bulbasaur and Squirtle because I don't really get the opportunity to use it much. Because you need friends in order to trade. So it's kind of difficult to actually use it in a regular playthrough. Mega Alakazam. I'm putting it above Alakazam. It's a lot stronger. The design makes him look like he's full of wisdom. And those spoons. Yeah, I love the thing about the extra spoons. Okay. Machop, A tier above Alolan Diglett. Good Pokemon. Simple design. Doesn't make me. It doesn't make me too excited when I see one. But I do get a little excited. Machoke, putting it below Nidoqueen. It's a strong Pokemon. Don't get me wrong. But it's a little too veiny. Like, it's a bodybuilder with a reptilian head, and that's throwing me off. Machamp, I don't have much attachment to it because, once again, you need friends in order to use it. But in Pokemon Go, it's actually really good. And the championship belt it has, I like that. But yeah, right below Alakazam in A tier. Gigantamax, Machamp. I'm actually going to put that at the bottom of A tier. It's a good design, but I feel like they could have gone a different route. Okay, we are now on to Pokemon number 69, which is Bellsprout. Just for that, A tier. Like, it's a simple design of a plant, but I like using Bellsprout. Weepinbell, I'm going to put right below. Actually, I'm going to put it right above Abra and B tier. It's a bit of a weirder design, but I don't hate it. Victory Bell. Just because of the anime and the fact that I like using this Pokemon, I'm putting it right above Vileplume. And I got 3 grass poison types in a row in A tier. Okay, so Tentacool. No, I gotta put it below Pidgey. I like the blue and the red together, but it's kind of a boring Pokemon. Tentacruel, on the other hand, it does look cool, but not as cool, so B tier just below Beedrill. Okay, Cantonian Geodude, lower A tier, and Alolan Geodude, like middle B tier. Kanto Geodude is a classic. The little head spike things don't really do much for me. Graveler. I don't use it that often, but I like it a bit more than Geodude. You know what? I might actually just put the Alolan Graveler above Spearow, because it's a better design than Alolan Geodude, but I feel like they could have done a lot more. Golem, I don't have much of an attachment to it because I usually use other ground Pokemon or other rock Pokemon, sometimes both. And the reptilian head actually works on it. but there's something about the Alolan Golem that I love. I don't know what about it, but I love it a lot more than regular Golem. Alright, Ponyta. A tier right below Caterpie. And the Galarian form right below that. So, I love Ponyta. It's a horse, and it's the right balance between simple and eloquent. Or, I'm sorry, elegant. Rapidash, I'm going to put below Blastoise. Well, no, below Clefable. Galarian Rapidash, I prefer that over Cantonian Rapidash. So, I love these as well, just not as much as the base forms. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but they both have this charm that makes them like perfect opposites, even though one's more of one's a fairy basically, and the other one is just a burning horse. Well, Pegasus or Unicorn or whatever. Slowpoke, I love this derpy little dude. Right below Squirtle. Good design, funny, great Pokemon to use. But the Galarian form, I'm putting it below below Galarian Ponyta. I don't use it that often. And honestly, it's a little forgettable, but it's still a great design. And the shiny reminds me of Homer Simpson. So, big W. Slowbro, I'm going to put that above Slowpoke because I've used Slowbro more often than Kadabra. It's a great Pokemon. And it's strong. Oh my goodness. Mega Slowbro. I'm putting it below Alakazam. Actually, no. I'm going to put it below Caterpie. Because, yes, it's funny, but I haven't used it, like, at all. Not even in Pokemon Go. Is it even available in Pokemon Go yet? I don't know. Let's go with Galarian Slowbro. Once again, I don't use it as much as the original. So, I'm going to put it above Galarian Slowpoke. Magnemite. I will put it above Nidoqueen. It's a great Pokemon. It's strong. Yeah, it's strong for being a base form from what I've used of it. But the design's a little basic. And I'll put Magneton above Geodude. yes, it is stronger than Magnemite, but like I said, it's a little bit more boring. Well, okay, well, actually, I'll just put it above Meowth. Just to give it a bit more respect. Far-fetched. It's a duck, and honestly, I got nothing. So I'm putting it below Pidgey and B tier. Honestly, it doesn't have that many redeeming qualities to it. Now the Galarian form, it has a bigger leak, and it's a duck. Honestly, when it comes to Farfetch, the design is basic. So up next, Doduo. I like this double-headed fool. But I'm still confused on how this thing can fly. So I'm putting it in A tier. At Dodrio, I'm putting it just below Doduo. I like the 3 heads, just not as much as the 2 heads. But it's still a good looking Pokemon. Alright, so up next, Seal. You know what? I'm putting it right above Alolan Golem. It's a cute Pokemon. And yes, the name is extremely simple. It's just Seal, but switch the A with an E. But I love that. In fact, Seal was one of my first shinies in Pokemon Go. So I have history with it. Dugong. Same. It's simple, elegant. One of my first shinies in Pokemon Go. What's not to love about it? Grimer S tier. Above Pikachu. This was my very first shiny ever. So it holds a very special place in my heart. Yes, it's just a pile of purple sludge. But I can look past that quality of it. Like, yeah, it's a basic design, but you would not believe what happened after I found this shiny. Like, I was heading home from, I believe it was Sky Zone. I went with Hunter, one of his friends, and my mom. And I was playing a Pokemon game. I believe it was Fire Red. I found a shiny Grimer. Full odds. And that just opened my eyes to a whole new world of shiny Pokemon. So, only one Pokemon has the honor of being the first. Grimer was my first shiny, so it deserves to be in the S tier. Alolan Grimer, yeah, I don't enjoy this one as much, but I will put it above Graveler. yes, it does look like a shiny Cantonian Grimer, but the yellow mouth obviously gives it away. So it's not as impactful to me. Muck, uh, I don't remember if I've ever evolved that Grimer. So I'm just going to put it below Geodude in A tier. It it doesn't really have that special of a place in my heart. Trix Yogurt going right above it. Because at least it's pretty sludge. So Shelter, simple design, I'm putting it above Alolan Graveler. Cloyster, I'm putting it above Charizard in B tiers. It's not the greatest design, but it's a pretty nice design. And I don't have as much experience with it compared to like Blastoise or Seal or Dugong. Or Gyarados, really. Well, and Lapras. Vaporeon or Omastar. Point is, upper B tier. What can I say about Rick Ghastly? He's never going to give me up. I'm not going to continue that because I don't want the DMCA after me. But I'm putting it above Sandshrew. It's a simple design, but I like it. I have a lot of history with Ghastly. Haunter, just take out the A, then you got my brother. It's not as good of a design as Ghastly, but I love it. Gengar, I don't have too much history with it, except in like Pokemon Go. Wait, and in Scarlet or Violet, well, Scarlet and Violet, it's there's an actual in-game trade that will give you a Gengar, but it's a Haunter when you receive it, and it will actually evolve, unlike the one in the Sinnoh games. So yeah, I'm putting it above Alakazam. Mega Gengar, the shiny for this, absolutely gorgeous. So I'm putting it below Mega Alakazam and above regular Gengar. Because it's such a great design, even without it being shiny. Alright, Gigantamax Gengar. I'm putting it below Machamp. Oh, excuse me. Below regular Machamp in A tier. It looks like an evil funhouse. That's the best I can describe it. Onix. Honestly, I'm going to put it above. I'm putting it above Alolan Golem. Because in Let's Go Pikachu on my. Yeah, it was my first playthrough. I actually used an Onix. His name was Tremors, and he did amazing. So, he's definitely going A tier. So we got 5 rows, well, like 5.5 rows left. So we got Drowsy, gonna put it below Weedle. It's honestly a kind of cute design, but I don't know, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies sometimes. Hypno. Actually, no. Hypno, you're going in D tier. No explanation needed. Krabby. Just because that was my nickname from my cousin, and it's a cute Pokemon, I'm putting it. Yeah, let's put it above. Actually, no, above Raticate. I think that's a fair spot. Kingler. I'm gonna say above Machamp. And I'm a champ, Machoke. Because it has that crown like a regal crab. It's not bad, but it could have been better. Gigantamax Kingler. I will put it. Honestly, I will put it below Onyx in the A tier. So it's actually a really good design. It has like a Santa beard with its foam, but it still has something left to be desired. Voltorb. It's a Pokeball. And I finally got a shiny of it in Pokemon Go after like 4 years of playing. So, A tier above Ghastly. Hisuian Voltorb, I have a plushie of this. And its backstory of how, like, it accidentally explodes because this version loved being around humans until it started kicking it. It's just so sad. Justice for my boy. Electrode. Honestly, I don't like it. I'm putting it in C tier. Hisuian Electrode. Yeah, I will put this above Drowsy. It has a better look to it. With the wood, and it's more of a brown with the red instead of white. I like that look to it. You can definitely tell it's vintage. Execute. I will put it above Farfetch'd and Galarian Farfetch'd. It's just 6 eggs, and I'm not that attached to it. So it doesn't really have that many redeeming qualities. Executor, I'll put it in A tier above Golem and all of those other ones. But I love the derpy faces on the trees. And Grass Psychic is actually a pretty good type if you're not facing bug types. Alolan Executor, that is going to go above Raticate as well, which the derby faces mixed with a very long neck, that is hilarious. And besides, I have a shiny one in Pokemon Go, so I love it. Cubone. I'm putting it above Machamp. It's adorable. It has a very sad backstory, and I love it. Like, I love the Pokemon. It deserves more love. Marowak. I'm going to put that, honestly, below Kadabra. It's a pretty good Pokemon. It's a great design, but it doesn't have that same charm that Cubone has. Cubone is just a Pokemon that I would hold close and protect. Alolan Marowak. I love this thing. So I'm going to put it above Ponyta. The fire and ghost type, that is a great touch. And it's perfect that it was introduced in Alola, which is based on Hawaii. This is amazing. Let's see, Hitmonlee. Honestly, I'll put it below Shelter. It's nothing that makes me want to use it. It just looks like a chicken nugget with arms and legs. Hitmonchan, I like this. So I will put it below Gigantamax Machamp. It has more of a design to it. It looks like a boxer. Even though I've recently just watched like my first few boxing matches ever, and I wasn't a fan, I think this is a great way to pull it off. Licky Tongue. Now, this might be a little controversial, but I'm putting it in B tier above Jigglypuff. Yes, it has a freakishly long tongue, but everything else about it has such a great quality to it. It reminds me of something that Jumbo would make in Lilo and Stitch. Like, mainly from the eyes. Coughing. Now, I have the entire Coughing line as shiny in Pokemon Go. That includes the Galarian form. And I did it all within the matter of like a month. So I'm going to put it above Onyx. It's a good design. The skull and crossbones on its stomach indicates that it's dangerous. In fact, Weezing I'm just going to put right above it. And besides, the one that James had in the anime, I love that. Now, Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome, I'm putting that above regular Weezing. There's something about it that I like where it has green smog instead of the brown. It makes it pop. Rhyhorn. I'm going to put it below Geodude. Yes, it's a rock rhino, and I like that. But I've used the Geodude line a bit more. Rhydon. I'm going to put it above Alolan Grimer. It's a cool design. It reminds me of Nidoking, but that's also a bit of a flaw to it. Like, why would I use something that's 4 times weak to grass and water when I could use a poison ground type that looks better and is stronger? Chansey. I will put it above Executor. It's a cute Pokemon. It's round. But I just wish there was a bit more to it. Tangela. I'm going to put you above Drowsy. You just look like a spaghetti monster. And I wish it was stronger. Which, also, I don't understand why it was the only non-poison grass type in the Kanto region. Like, come on. Okay, let's go with regular Kangaskhan first. A tier above Galarian Weezing. It's a kangaroo that is very protective of its baby. And it doesn't even need the fighting type to showcase that. It's a great design and a great Pokemon. Mega Kangaskhan, I'm putting it barely above regular Kangaskhan. The fact that the baby can get out of the pouch, grow up a bit, and fight as well, that's a great idea. So, it barely gets the edge. Horsey. This is adorable. However, it's going to be a little crabby. I don't have too much of an attachment to it. Same with Seadra, but I prefer Horsey over Seadra. Goldeen. Yeah, let's go with upper C tier. And Seaking just below that. It's not that interesting of a Pokemon. It's basically just a fish with a horn. So up next we have Starmie. That's going above Executor. And Starmie, that's going above Bellsprout. Above Meowth. Staryu, it's a C-star. I love it. It's a simple but beautiful design. And when it comes to Starmie, it's another star with a star behind it, and the gem is bigger. It's a cooler design. And I like Starmie. It's actually a fun Pokemon to use. Mr. Mime. It's off-putting, but not too off-putting. So, lower B tier. Galarian Mr. Mime. I'm putting it above Abra in B tier. I like that it's a tap dancer instead of a mime. So it gets a lot more credit for that. Scyther. Amazing bug type, 500 base stat total. I'm putting it above Butterfree. I don't use it that often, but there was one time I used a sandwich in Scarlet, and I actually did this on stream. I got 3 of these as shinies when I was just trying to get a shiny Cleavor. But I also have a shiny Caesar, so I can't complain. I love it. Jinx. I'm putting that right above Hypno in D tier. Because it does have some redeeming qualities. It is actually pretty good. But come on, I just I don't like the design, like at all. So up next we're going with Electabuzz. And Electabuzz I'm going to put above Machop. It's a cool design. It's strong. And I'll be honest, I don't have much attachment to it. So it's not getting any higher than that. Magmar, on the other hand, I've actually used for a little bit, just not as much as some of the other fire types I have on here already. But I'll put it above Onix. Plus, it's a cool design. The way that its head looks is a little off-putting, though. Pinsir. Great design. I'm putting it above Krabby. I don't really use it. But I can't put it low because it's a great Pokemon. Mega Pinsir. I don't know. I don't like it as much. So I'm putting it below Gigantamax Krabby. Then we have Tauros. And we got 4 of them to deal with. Cantonian Tauros, also known as Jim. If you know, you know. I'm going to put it below Onix. I've used it a few times. It's great in the Kanto region. Other than that, it's a little underwhelming when it comes to being a battler. So we got Paldean Tauros, which honestly I'm just going to put it barely above regular Tauros because I love the design a bit more. Aqua Breed Tauros, I'm putting that above Machop. Because the way that the horns are kind of curled, it's a little silly, but not a good silly. Now the Blaze Breed Tauros I'm putting right below regular Tauros. Because it looks like it's on par with Tauros, just just barely as good. Magikarp, it may be a pretty useless Pokemon, but if you have the patience, it's a great long-term investment. So I'm going to put it above Poliwag. Gyarados, even though it has a 4 times weakness, it's honestly the best water type I've used in Kanto, besides Lapras, which I will get to that in just a moment. It's a great design. It's a lot of people's first shinies because of the Johto games. But this design is just top tier. Mega Gyarados, on the other hand, what a fumble. Yeah, I'm actually going to put it below Mega Blastoise in the B tier. It's, yeah, I understand that it's based on what Missy saw in the lake one time, but it's not as cool as other Megas. In fact, yeah, that's our low. Oh, no. Oh, okay, there's actually two Megas that are ranked lower than that so far. But Lapras, I'm going to put. You know what? Let's actually go barely below Gyarados. Like, yes, I use it as a surfer quite a bit in the Kanto games, but I believe I've used Gyarados more often. But it is a very great design. Gigantamax Lapras, I'm putting it right above Gyarados. Because that is a sick design. Like, yeah, it adds the music aspect. And what's better than a regular Lapras? A much bigger Lapras. Ditto. I'm a little iffy on this guy. Mainly because people on the internet like to ruin things. So I'm going to put it in like lower A tier, right above Venomoth, because it's a fun design and it's very useful when you want to breed Pokemon. Like, for example, a foreign Ditto from a different language will increase your shiny odds when you're trying to hatch a shiny. Eevee. I'm putting it above Pikachu mainly because Eevee's such a great design. I actually prefer it over Pikachu. And my niece, she is 3 years old, and she absolutely loves Eevee. So, once again, this is a Pokemon I can't put lower than S tier. Gigantamax Eevee, I'm going to put it above regular Eevee. Same reasons apply. Vaporeon, I'm going to put it below Squirtle, mainly because, yes, it's a great design, but the copy pasta is just annoying. And that kind of knocks it down from being any higher. Now, this is the part that I kind of feared the most. Evolutions, because I personally don't know if I have a favorite. So I kind of have to force myself into having a favorite. Now, the aquatic design is a lot better than this. And well, not really a lot better. It's like just comparing them side by side. I would rather have the aquatic looking cat mermaid over just like a staticky cat thing. Flareon, on the other hand, that just looks fluffy. So I'm going to have to put it a little bit above both Vaporeon and Jolteon. Now, I'm pretty sure all the evolutions are going to be ranked right along each other. Alright, so Porygon. No, excuse me. So this is another duck Pokemon. And this is a great design. It's a cyber Pokemon. It's so unique. So I'm going to have to put it above Sandshrew. Ammonite. Praise Lord Helix, I'm putting it above Porygon. Because it's adorable. Up next, Omastar. I'm going to have to put it below Mankey. The mouth is a little weird, so it's not as interesting as Ammonite. Up next, we got Kabuto. And honestly, I'm putting it in the bottom of A tier because it's not that appealing to me. It's just a horseshoe crab with glowing red eyes. It's not interesting enough for me. Kabutops, that I'm putting above Meowth. I like its design, but not as much as the Ammonite line. Aerodactyl. I'm going to put that above Sandshrew. Aerodactyl is a great Pokemon. I've used it plenty of times. However, it could be a bit better. Mega Aerodactyl does not do it for me. I'm going to put it just below Tangela. Like, the pointy rocks, it just seems like a bit of a lazy design. And the rock on its chin just makes it look a bit like Jafar. Snorlax. This chunky boy, definitely going upper A tier. I'll put it below Cubone. It's a great design. It's simple. It's a strong Pokemon. And what's not to love about it? And besides, it has its own game, Pokemon Sleep. Gigantamax, Snorlax. I'm going to put it above Snorlax because it adds a nice, like, little park design, like a little hiking trail on its stomach as it sleeps. That's cool. Alright, Articuno. Honestly, my favorite of the legendary birds. So I'm going to have to put it above Magikarp. There's other Pokemon I would rather have before that, but it's a great design. I love the ice type. Now, Galarian Articuno reminds me of Chuck from Angry Birds Space. So I gotta put it above Voltorb. Alright, Zapdos. The construction paper bird. Honestly, I'll put it right below Rhyhorn. It it doesn't wow me. Like, yes, I still get excited when I can catch it because it's a legendary. However, it's not something that I would just go bonkers over. Now, the Roadrunner version, or is it like a Chocobo? I forgot what they're called. Uh, Honestly, I'm going to have to put it like right below Galarian Articuno because both of them are just beautiful designs and an improvement over the Cantonian forms. Now, my least favorite of the Cantonian birds, I'm going to put it below Mega Charizard Y because it's like a rubber chicken on fire. It's not that exciting. Once again, Galarian Moltres, I'm putting it with the others because it's such a massive improvement. Like the reddish pink flames and accents on the black body just blows it out of the water. Now we got Dratini, a little noodle dragon. I'm going to put it above Galarian Rapidash. It's a cute Pokemon. I love the blue and the white. And it has the same head design as Wartortle wherever I put Wartortle. Yeah, right here. Dragonair. I like it more. You know what? I'm going to put it like right above. Yeah, that works. Right above Alolan Marowak. It's just so majestic looking. And the blue and the white together, still amazing. Alright, Dragonite. I'm going to put this right above Slowbro because it's a powerful pseudo legendary and it's just a great design. The orange with the bluish green accents on the wings. It's a simple design, but I love it. Mewtwo. S tier. However, just below Hisuian Voltorb. It was a part of the first Pokemon movie I've ever seen. There's just something about it that kind of makes it demand attention, and it really shows off in this design. Up next, Mega Mewtwo X, I believe. Honestly, not feeling this one. So I'm going to actually put it Now, it's not the worst Mega design, but I'll put it below Spearow in B tier. But it's not good. Mega Mewtwo Y, on the other hand, this is actually a good design. I'm going to put it above Alolan Golem. And last but not least, we got Mew. Mew goes above Mewtwo. It's an adorable pink psychic cat. What's not to love about it? And besides, in the first Pokemon movie, it's so cute. Like, it plays on a windmill of sorts. It bounces on bubbles. It's adorable. It's like a child, and it needs to be protected. Even though it's like 600 base stat total, can handle it. But that is all for the Kanto section. Now, the next time I do this, I will be covering all of the Johto Pokemon and ranking them within all of the Kanto Pokemon. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment any other YouTube videos you'd like to see, and I will catch you in the next one.